I just learned something amazing. Did you know there are more animals in Australia than just kangaroos and chicks from Wollongong? What I'm saying is Symbio Wildlife Park near Wollongong lied to me, alright? There's some very interesting creatures that call this continent home, and they're all as magical as dragons and showpays. Want to learn about them? Well, too bad, you've got no choice, because if you click out of this, the chick from the ring will come and kill you. Like the video and subscribe, it's the only way to stop her. And if you already have the curse, the only known cure is to buy a Lang was right shirt from friendlyjordies.com. The badge that comes with it is a good luck charm. Ooh, now, this little guy is called the Leadbeater Possum. Oh, he's not in my hand, otherwise I'd do this.
My bones!
He's the fauna emblem for the state of Victoria, and here's another cool fact about him. He's critically endangered. Oh, he's the Roxy backpack of native animals. The reason he's critically endangered is because the Liberal Party realised that if they pretend that he's not critically endangered, their donors can continue to log his habitat. It's win-win. Barnaby Joyce chucked a massive tantrum at the Minister for the Environment, Susan Lee, or as I like to call her, Big Boy from Rugrats, yelling, "Big Boy!
Yes?
What's this possum doing on the endangered list? It's a possum, mate. In New Zealand, they're a fucking pest."
Okay, that's more than I understand about biodiversity with my qualifications of failing an air traffic controller course. Boom, not endangered.
They tried to take it off the endangered list, meaning it would be open season on its habitat. Fortunately, Victoria is run by a savage dictator that doesn't want things to die. What a All these druggos that hitchhike from music festival to music festival whining to me that Daniel Andrews is destroying nature. Source, this extremely misleading meme I saw on Green's meme page. Dude, get your news from something that isn't Instagram. Me. Follow me on Instagram. Because I'm telling you, Daniel Andrews is reverse John Barilaro. The only reason dozens of species, including the leadbeater possum, is still alive is because he banned old growth logging in Victoria and he's phasing out native forestry. You have seen the John Butler trio live. Shut the f*** up. The next animal we're looking at is the woylie. Looks a bit like Phoebe from Friends. Also critically endangered. When ScoMo was questioned about specifically this species in Parliament. Remember that? Back before the Liberals decided that being questioned about their corruption was annoying and then decided that Parliament was all a bit of an inconvenience, really. Starting to really relate with Ray Hadley's popular mix albums. Those were the days. Yeah, back when Parliament was actually Parliament. Remember that? Click the notification bell if you do to be reminded of more oldie classics like Kevin Rudd, Bob Hawke, and of course the greatest of them all, Simon Crean. Anyway, when Labor asked him what is his government doing to protect this species amongst others, he just started inventing legislation on the spot. How insane is that? Freestyling this alternative universe that he imagines he runs, and yet he runs the real universe.
And now that I've shut down Parliament, unimpeded too.
Oh, that's rad. Almost as rad as the Kangaroo Island Dunnit, and Dunnit looked cute. Probably good I wasn't an explorer because...
What? That's an odd name. I'd have called them Chazwazzers.
Their population was 500 before the Black Summer bushfires. Now it's below 50. If only we had some sort of warning about the bushfires other than Scott Morrison knowing about it for a decade. You know those water bombers Bill Shorten promised that the Liberals ignored just like they ignored nearly 24 emergency chiefs? God, that would have come in handy for not only saving houses, but animals' houses which I assume look like this.
And the Kangaroo Island Dunnit likes Bushell's Australian blend because he's native.
The point is, now that the damage is done and the Kangaroo Island Dunnit is hanging on by a thread, 50 left in the world, Liberals still couldn't care. The government's doing nothing to stop its genome from being wiped off the face of the planet, with all the resources of the federal government being marshalled into the much more useful endeavour of making even more gas wells to make the bushfires not just bigger,
Better. Scott Morrison presents Black Summer Reloaded, Pitch Black.
Its survival has been left to the great but very underfunded Foundation for Australia's Most Endangered, which is why I'm going to chuck them anything this video makes an ad rev. So disable your ad blocker simps, Friendly Jordies videos only. Not just this one too, permanently. Blood on your hands if you don't. A lot of shilling in this video. Let's move on to the pygmy possum. Ugh, I'm starting to side with Barnaby Joyce now. They're all just possums! But Space Lizard here decided to discontinue funding to the Threatened Species Recovery Hub. Actually, scratch that, not evil enough. Cut its funding again. The Liberals already cut its funding in 2018, so you really have to convince 2 of your friends to vote Labor, because instead of halving the staff of the Threatened Species Recovery Hub so they can't even count how many pygmy possums are left, let alone help them, A centerpiece of Albo's COVID economic recovery program was, hey, instead of getting rid of all workers' protections to destroy even more jobs than a global pandemic otherwise would have destroyed, here's an idea. Why don't we fund the largest bush regeneration program in Australian history, eh? That's a bit better than secret work choice, isn't it? I agree with that definitely direct quote of Albo's. Restoring millions of hectares burnt to a crisp by the Berejiklian bushfires, which would also make farmland more arable by increasing water retention and soil quality. Maybe that might be a little more helpful than using a pandemic to pass through everything that big business wants. Tell your friends that so they can say, no, you've got this all wrong. The Liberals are the party that create jobs. Do you have a job? No, I was made redundant. Because of COVID, not the Libs. Gilbert's Potteroo. You're starting to see the theme of this. They're all endangered, right? Gilbert's Potteroo, I assume, is the son of Gilligan and Dilbert, and they gave him a Potteroo for his birthday. It's one of the most endangered marsupials in the world. Scientists think there's 70 left, and Susan Lee's altering the Environmental Protection, Biodiversity and Conservation Act. Why? Just in case she ever develops a conscience and actually wants to step in and stop the destruction of a habitat. Not that she ever will, because...
That doll is evil, I tells ya! Evil! Evil!
Jordan, you say that about all the Liberals.
I just want attention.
she can't even step in. Now not only is she helping to make thousands of species go extinct, she's also figured out how to make us pay her to do less work than even Scott Morrison. F the Liberals are The Southern Corroboree Frog? Whoa, psychedelic, man! Now I know what the stoners watching are thinking. If I lick it, will I get high? I don't know, probably. But now you'll never know. To wipe this one out though, it was kind of a collab project between Bruz and Susan Ley. The John Farnham and Olivia Newton-John Christmas Carol special of killing shit. Susan took care of cutting research funding, and Bruz, we all know what Bruz did, don't we? You got a 10k bribe to make sure that national parks couldn't cull wild horses, and those wild horses are trampling through the frog's breeding area. And if you thought that one was adorable, well, the next one is the cutest of them all, the Murray-Darling cod. Definitely not just included to make a point about water mismanagement that's our current autistic obsession. No, definitely not. Anyway, it's critically endangered in many parts of the Murray. Susan, as her portfolio's name would suggest, is supposed to be advocating for the environment. Who does she actually advocate for? Mega farmers. Mega farmers have already got the Minister for Agriculture, they have the Nationals, they have agribusiness lobbies, they have Wall Street, agribanks, all advocating for their needs. And now they have the Minister for the Environment as well. Talk about overkill. Instead of advocating to punish those stealing trillions of litres of water, just take more from the environment. There's plenty there. I'm telling you, when the coalition's in charge, the worst possible people in the country are put in charge of each portfolio. They actively seek them out. I can't finish my TAFE degree, bros. Minister for TAFE. I'm one of those oddballs that hangs the round tree of life shops too much and believes in numerology. Well, she's probably good with counting numbers. Put her in charge of counting water flow. These animals are not going extinct because, hey, that's what happens in nature. They are going extinct because that's what happens when you elect state and federal Liberal governments, at which point I hope you'll ask, but what can I do? Well, first off, and I do mean this, you can get 2 of your friends to subscribe to Friendly Jordies. Click the notification bell as well, because if we can get to the size of 7 users audience, that is election-changing stuff. And that is not an exaggeration, this is a fact. To all the stupid cunts that say, no difference between Liberal and Labour. The difference, quite literally, is the difference between hundreds of species being wiped off the face of the earth. If you want to do something right now, you can donate to FAME. And remember, watch the ads, because all of that money is going to go to them. And finally, I cannot stress this enough, people, please plant natives in your backyard. Very semi-redundant Gardening Australia point, but it's true. I'll tell you what's better than roses. Lantana.
That's not native.
Well, the point is Bunnings has a native section. Just get the plants from there. Like the video.
You're shilling for Bunnings. There's so much bloody shilling in this video.
As you get one out. 10 for 10. Just like we almost had 10 species, we cut a couple out.
Buy a Bunnings voucher.
Please share and comment below. Comment.
Lee or Lay?
Susan Ley.
What have you been saying this whole video?